Welcome back, everybody. So Chynna Phillips and husband Billy Baldwin are opening up about their decision to live in separate homes. Chynna revealed on their YouTube channel that they meet up for date nights, therapy, and dinner with the kids, but need time apart because they have, quote, an allergy to each other, unquote. So is this a healthy solution or the beginning of the end, having different homes in different cities?
I feel like this is, everyone's like, oh, I feel like this is already happening though with people. And maybe it's not different homes in different cities, but I can talk about my parents and their generation. Like they stay in the same house, but they have 2 separate bedrooms with 2 separate TVs. So my dad can watch BNN, my mom can watch her Indian soap operas. And but they meet for dinner and they like, you know, but they have their own space. And I think as a relationship grows, you need that. Or if your partner snores, I'm sure there's people watching us who sleep in a separate bed. So I think that's a healthy distance. I personally am at the stage in my life and my marriage where I really like coming home to my husband.
Yeah.
Like I like that. It's just he's home to me, right? He's like my home. Yeah. And so for me, I don't know if that would, he might say, yeah, I would love to do that because I'm always like, but you know, I like that. That's personal, yeah.
I feel like I'm interested in this as a conversation piece because there's a whole movement that's growing. They call themselves A-partners or LATs, living apart togethers. And it's been growing for a while. There are Facebook groups now. There's a few books out there. And I think it just kind of normalizes this idea that there's not one way to exist in a partnership. I think there's a lot of different maybe considerations. Like you have to do more work at communication. I think it could be a nightmare in terms of scheduling. I think if you have young children, it's never gonna work. But people like Sarah Paulson recently talked on Smartless about the fact that her and her partner live apart. They've been together for ages, they love it. Diane von Furstenberg famously, she's in New York, she's been with her husband for 20 years. She always is kind of like, I don't understand why people find this so difficult. They have date nights, they connect, and in a way, doesn't it sound kind of amazing? Like that there's a little bit of sort of, you'd have to have money. Maybe not in your parents'
thing, but generally,
Well, you're looking at me, but you're preaching to the choir. Like, perfect husband
you're not
has his own house.
No one's allowed to come to your house
fall in love. Exactly. Thank you. I'm afraid of his roaches. No, but my perfect husband has his own space, and we realize that we're individuals who, when it comes to our like comfort level, when we get home, we want that silence. I don't want to have to deal with your pee on the toilet seat. I don't want to have to tell you to pick things up. I want you to be comfortable though in your own space. But it's very interesting when we promoted this before the break. I saw a lot of women doing this because I think there's a lot of like work that comes with living with somebody where you're like, can you do this? Can you empty this? Why didn't you see to do this? And I think that would help a lot of marriages, because I'll say this as the only single person on this panel. I will fight for someone to stay married. And if this is what they have to do to stay together, I'm like, fine, live in separate houses, but work on your relationship and try to stay together. Because I think there are a lot of people who are divorcing for reasons that afterwards they're like, maybe we could have worked through that and we just needed a break from each other, not necessarily to divorce one another. So I'm pro this as long as it can keep people together longer.
Okay, let me try to play the other side. Because I view this as something that's happening when couples, their kids are grown up and they've left and they have more time and more space, maybe they're retired. For me, if your husband or your wife is still peeing on the seat and not picking up after them, and you've been together for 40 or 50 years, I think you have a bigger problem. Like, I do think, like, for me, this would signal the beginning of the end.
Okay.
Like, I can understand separate bedrooms, I can understand separate TVs, but living living separately in 2 separate homes in different cities and referring to someone as like, I never want to feel allergic to Simon.
Yeah, I know, but you and Simon have something very unique. You guys share a double bed. I don't. Listen, let me tell you. I've loved a lot of people, but I've never loved someone that much. You guys have a unique union where you love being very close to each other, even in your slumber.
This is true. This is true.
It's really adorable.
That's very cute.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Andrea.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.